$6 billion fintech CEO just said stablecoins are pointless. Meanwhile, Stripe is pouring over $1 billion into them. Shopify is integrating them, and Ant Group is chasing stablecoin license around the world. And in 30 minutes, a Bitcoin sidechain raised $1 billion, all in stablecoins from nearly 3,000 wallets. So what's really going on? Are stablecoins dead weight, or are they quietly becoming the future of money? Today, we're breaking down the growing divide between skeptics like Airwallex Jack Zhang and the institutions and users, going all in on digital dollars. This one's not just about crypto, it's about the fight for control for the next generation of financial infrastructure. Let's get into it.
Yeah. So let's talk about the surprising split in the fintech world that's happening lately. Jack Chen, the co-founder of the Airwallex, he just finished his, I think, 300 million Series F round, valuing his company at currently 6.2 billion. And he's not buying the stablecoin hype. So what do you think about this? This is a huge news this week.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because Airwallex sounds like it is a crypto company, but this guy's totally anti-crypto from what it seems like on Twitter. And I mean, he would have a strong opinion because his company basically helps businesses manage cross-border payments, and they use like this proprietary banking network. So he has been able to get like fees and like Forex fees down to like, yeah, very marginal cost. But he like came out with like a pretty harsh statement. He said, after 15 years, I still haven't seen a single use case where crypto has meaningfully solved a real problem. Yeah, and he's arguing that for major currencies like USD, Euro, JPY, like stablecoins actually increase cost. And I could kind of like feel him out on that. Depending on which chain you're using, yeah, there's like the transaction fees for the network. And then when you offboard them, if you're not using like USDC on Coinbase, like if you're, converting USDT on Kraken, you actually might have like some like trading costs, and it's like a few bips, but definitely adds up. So yeah, when you're off ramping, you're increasing the cost, and it doesn't really solve B2B payments at scale. And yeah, there's like for him that he doesn't see the benefit for stable coins when like fintech has just been like continuously like compounding their near instant and low cost settlements over the last few decades. And it might have value for emerging markets and unbanked populations, but he really thinks it's kind of like this regulatory arbitrage and not a real win for end users and businesses.
But interestingly, I think there are other corporations and firms that are going into the opposite direction. For example, Stripe, they just acquired Privy, which is a wallet infrastructure startup. They make businesses easy to embed crypto wallets directly into any of the apps. And they closed a 1.1 billion acquisition of Bridge, which is also a stablecoin infrastructure company. So I think right now, it's totally divided. For example, Airwallex, they don't see the privilege of incorporating stablecoin, but meanwhile, Stripe is now taking actions.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a different direction, and it seems like where Airwallex is kind of building up their kind of traditional fintech stack, Stripe, I mean, they have that, they're multi-billion-dollar company themselves, and then they're doling out billions on these acquisitions. They're really building their stablecoin infrastructure stack, and I guess in some degrees a crypto stack, because I mean, Privy isn't just for stablecoins. It's like any coin that you could put into a wallet. So yeah, it's definitely a huge dichotomy, like, and like the juxtaposition is really there, because totally different directions. And I mean, Stripe maybe like more US and like Europe focused, but that's where Airwallex is saying like, stablecoins make the least difference. So, you have to wonder why, like they're going spending billions while Airwallex is not. So yeah, they're also testing out a new stablecoin product for the US, UK, and EU, And yes, Stripe sees like real demand for this already. It's like just starting this month, but they plan to have it like in over I don't know how many countries by the end of the year. They're trying to roll it out to like all their businesses. And they're also bringing in other players like Shopify and Coinbase to let merchants accept USDC directly. So you could, choose to keep the USDC or get your local fiat and, try to avoid the Forex fees if you're just holding the USDC. And they're incentivizing this by offering cash back. So
Wow.
it's a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, for the stablecoins, it's not just like Stripe and Shopify. It's also like these huge institutional players like the DTCC, which is the clearinghouse behind almost every US stock trade. Basically, like if you read the fine print for all your brokers, the DTCC is actually like the one who kind of owns your stock and it's like routing the trades. And they have like $2 quadrillion in transaction volume a year. And they're doing their own pilot project for a dollar-backed stablecoin to modernize their settlement. I mean, this could be huge because it could reduce like the time for settlement, because right now it's like T+2 to maybe like instant settlement if you're using stablecoins. And I think that's like the first step before you get stocks on chain as well. So this is huge. I think like maybe not too many people have read into this, but it's definitely a huge step forward for getting stocks on chain.
Hmm. I know in Europe, Society Generale, they also just launched their USD stablecoin backed called USDCV, which is a fully MiCA compliant stablecoin. It's backed by BNY Mellon, and it's also issued on both Ethereum and Solana. So I think right now this is like an international sensation where a lot of the corporations, they're making stablecoin moves. And there's also the I'm sure everyone knows about this. Jack Ma's Ant Group, the operator of Alipay, they're also jumping into this too. Right now, they're applying to preparing to apply for a stablecoin issuer license in Hong Kong, Singapore, and also Luxembourg. These are like the most forward-looking digital asset jurisdictions. So I think he is trying to make a first mover advantage, especially in Hong Kong, because right now there's a brand new stablecoin ordinance that will kick in August, which will require all the issuers to be licensed by the HKMA. So I think Jack Ma's plan, he's very forward looking at. As we can see, he's definitely gonna apply, be the very first one, and gain the first mover advantage in the region.
Yeah, I think these are very strategic locations, and they kind of probably open up a lot more countries that they could handle payments from. But yeah, I mean, this is a huge payments giant. Like Alipay is huge in China, and also like in a lot of other countries. You could even use it in the US. They have the whole use your face to pay, and now even like your hand to pay. So the fact that they're trying to like get more into the stable coins, and I feel like the RMB within their system is a sense like a closed stablecoin environment. But if you're able to take it out of the Alipay app, that's pretty big. And then it also like legitimizes it a lot further, because like it'll probably be backed by like other institutions as well to make sure that all the assurances are there. So yeah, you have to think about this like it's big for cross-border payments, treasury management, and settlement. So yeah, what Zhang says from Airwallex, that they don't really matter. There's these multi-billion-dollar companies disagreeing pretty harshly. And then if you zoom out, I mean, you have Stripe, Society Generale, DTCC, and Coinbase, and that's just in 1 week. Like these are all big companies. So it's no longer like the domain of crypto startups alone. There's a lot more of these traditional fintech and payments giants help building this infrastructure together.
Yeah, well, I think all these fintech CEOs, they're trying to answer and so whether or not crypto they solve real problems. But from the plasma news this week, we can actually see the market is actually having answers for them. Stablecoin is no longer a fringe idea. Right now, it's a lot of where the institutional monies are going in. For example, right now, Plasma, they recently did a raise. Their token deposit run, it was $1 billion. It filled up over 30 minutes. It's crazy. It's huge. It's $1 billion. Plasma, they had to actually double its deposit cap to meet this overwhelming demand because there were around like 3,000 wallets that participated in this deposit. And the median actually is only around $12,000. So it's showing that these are not just whales depositing, it's actually a lot of the demand coming straight from the market. So we can see the momentum for the stablecoin deposits. And this interesting thing about this, the catch is that the deposit is not just to participate in it's not actually for the token sale event. It's actually gaining a priority access for the XPL token sale later on. So yeah, what do you think about this?
I was quite blown away by like how fast they reached the cap. I was like, it just refreshed and it's like, oh, okay, it's already gone. And I'm like wondering to myself, like, do people like I feel like I haven't seen this plasma too much in the news. I mean, I know Founders Fund, they invested in it. So that was like a quite good backing from the VC space. But I feel like some people probably thought it was like this old plasma kind of like Ethereum infrastructure that like people, because it uses the same name, plasma. Like I feel like people thought it was that, and they thought this was a good deal. But maybe, I mean, maybe like people knew what it really is, and like what they're trying to build. And yeah, this like 1 billion deposit is like kind of to go like merge onto like yeah this new chain that they're building. So yeah, it's a lot of money. I mean, that's going to be a lot of like TVL locked up on day one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think like yeah, if there's only like 50 million tokens for sale, that's not a lot. It seems like there's a lot more demand for it. I saw like someone pay like $100,000 transaction fee to like yeah make sure like it went through in like the fastest block because yeah people are like the appetite's there and yeah, it's a lot of money. Like 58% was in USDC and around 40 in USDT. So yeah, I mean stable coins, yeah, big for the institution, but it also seems like it's going to be big for retail. I just don't, yeah, I'm not sure. Like it seems like it's quite hyped because you could use USDC on base and yeah, it's free. So I don't know what's the purpose of building this their own chain, but we'll have to see because yeah, I mean it just
Yeah.
seems like a little crazy and a lot of hype.
Well, I think zooming out, we have now got Stripe and Society Generale and also DTCC pushing for the stable coins into the whole institutional roles. While Plasma and thousands of other users, they also show that they prove that the retail is actually very hungry for on-chain dollars too. So I think this will clearly become maybe the universal language of money on the internet.
Yeah, the institutional rails are definitely being laid from Stripe to Ant to DCCC and Society Generale. Like retail, they're sprinting ahead with this $1 billion deposits for this yeah plasma kind of raise, and then yeah. Meanwhile, you have voices on the other side like Jack Jong, who are holding the line for the old guard and arguing that stable coins are a solution in search of a problem, which is yeah I'm tired of hearing this statement, but yeah, people are still saying that. And whether it's payments, settlement, or access, yeah, stablecoins, they aren't just finding a use case, they're becoming the infrastructure. So the real question isn't whether they work, it's who's going to own the rails when the dust settles. And right now, the race is wide open. Thanks for joining us. Have a great weekend.